You've made the decision to come and live in Danang. Good choice, I must say, but now the fun begins. Whether you're planning to stay for a short term, a month or so, or something a little bit long term, first thing on your priority list will be finding somewhere to live. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 easy ways to find somewhere to live in Danang. When you arrive in Danang, my advice would be give yourself at least 2 or 3 days when you arrive to get out on foot or with a motorbike if you rent one and explore the areas that you're interested in living in. Book yourself into a hotel for those 2 or 3 days just to give yourself that time to have a look around, view a few places, make some comparisons and choose the most suitable property. The first thing you'll need to do is identify your budget. How much do you want to spend every month on accommodation? Also factor in that you might need to pay extra for electricity and water and other bills such as cleaning. Identify your requirements. How many people are going to be living in this accommodation? Is there 1 of you, 2 of you? Are you a family? What do you need? Do you need a studio? Do you need 1, 2 or more bedrooms? Is it important for you to have a balcony? Do you want a sea view? What neighbourhood do you want to live in? Do you want to be near the beach? Do you want to be somewhere more local on the opposite side of the river? Once you've identified all of these requirements, then the next thing you need to do is you need to then post an advertisement in one of the many Facebook groups. I have one favour to ask of you. Only 3% of you that watch videos on the channel have subscribed. My goal this year is to bump that figure up a little bit and get that up to about 5%. But I can't do that on my own. I need your help. My promise to you is to keep on bringing you the information that you're looking for, and I'll always strive to deliver and improve the quality of the content on the channel. Have we got a deal? Excellent, let's get on with the video. There's 2 options here that I now want to share with you. What you can do is get out on foot, or if you've got a motorcycle, jump on the motorcycle and go out and explore the neighbourhoods that you're interested in. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled and check for any construction. You'll soon see in Danang that there's a lot of construction going on, and I'm sure most of you aren't really wanting to live next to a construction site. Right next door you've got construction. Nobody wants that. So this is why it's really important to walk around, because if you find an apartment online, you might get somewhere and there's either going to be loud music or there's going to be construction next door. Also, make sure you go back to the neighbourhood in the evening as well. A lot of the areas in Danang do come to life in the evening, and there's a lot of bars, there's restaurants, there's live music, there might even be a karaoke. Some of you, that might appeal to you, but for me, I want to be somewhere that's quiet in the evening, so it's good to check out the area in the daytime and at night. Also, make sure that you have a look around to see what's nearby. Is it close to the beach? Is it easy to get to some of the restaurants that you'll most likely want to eat in while you're there? If you want to do some exercise while you're in Danang, you're probably going to want a gym membership. Is it close to a gym? Of course, if you've got a motorbike, that's not so big a priority. But if you don't want to rent a motorbike while you're there, then you want a lot of things to be accessible by foot. Is there a supermarket nearby? That's an essential. You want to go and get your basics from the supermarket on a regular basis, and you don't want to have to travel too far to do that. Once you have a feel for the area, then keep your eyes peeled. Are there any signs outside the buildings advertising rentals? If you do like the look of an apartment block, and this is what I did, you can walk inside, speak to the receptionists and just tell them what your requirements are and ask if they have any monthly rentals available. If they do, get yourself up to the room, have a look at the room, see what it's like, see if it's going to be comfortable enough. Quickly do a Wi-Fi check to make sure that the speed is fast enough for you. On that note, with regards to Wi-Fi, one of the great things about living in Danang is the fact that the Wi-Fi and the data packages that are available, they are really good. I've had no problems at all yet, fingers crossed, with Wi-Fi. But you just want to do a speed test, because if you are going to be working from home, you want to know that that speed is reliable. Also, check with the owner of the apartment or the hotel whether you've got your own router. If you're working from home, it's definitely more suitable if you've got your own router rather than sharing that with several other people. That's not really ideal. The other thing that you can do as well, once you've got your requirements, is post in one of the many Facebook groups. If you have a look in the description of this video, I've actually listed a few of the Facebook groups in Danang that I'm familiar with, where you can definitely find accommodation that's advertised, and there's a lot. Once you've posted, honestly, I'm not exaggerating, within minutes of posting, you'll hear ding, ding, ding. All of the notifications will start coming through. People showing you videos and photographs of the properties that they've got available, and they'll be sharing the price and the location with you. If you do like any of them, then get back in touch with the owner or the agent of the property and arrange to go around and do a viewing of the property. I would highly recommend seeing a few properties. Of course, you might be lucky, the first property you see, you might fall in love with that and you might want it. But there's so much choice, and not everywhere is fantastic. I saw a few places which weren't going to be great for me. There was a problem with damp in a few of them, and I certainly don't want to live in an accommodation that's got damp, and I don't think anyone does. And some of them were just a little bit smelly. When you do go around to view the properties, make sure you take some photographs and also take a video, because if you see 2 or 3 or more within one day, you might get confused about what the bathroom was like, where did this one have a balcony. But if you've got that video or those photos, you can go away, spend a little bit of time and just make a comparison between all of them. And of course, like I mentioned before, always make sure that you do that speed test on the Wi-Fi if you're going to be working from home, or you just want to make sure that you've got a good connection if you do decide to stay there. One thing that I highly recommend you do is make sure you do a viewing of the property. A lot of places that contacted me on Facebook, I tried to arrange a viewing and they said the property was occupied, so I couldn't do a viewing until it was empty. That wasn't really ideal for me, because I wanted to go around and guarantee that I've got a place to move in on a specific date. A couple of people sent me a video. I definitely, with a rental, I wouldn't accept a place and agree to a contract without viewing it first, because a couple of videos that I saw looked great, but then one place I went around, as soon as they opened the door, went into the bathroom, and up in the bathroom on the ceiling around the air vent, it was just black all over on the ceiling, and obviously on the video you can't see that. So just make sure you do a viewing in person, and the pictures usually are taken, it's quite a while ago, it's probably when the property was a little bit younger than what it is now. Also, make sure that you ask a few questions when you're viewing the property. For example, ask about cleaning. A lot of the properties that I viewed did include cleaning once, sometimes even twice a week, and that's included in the standard rental price, which is excellent. Check for electricity. A lot of the properties seem to charge an additional fee for electricity depending on how much you use, which completely makes sense, and it's usually the same case for water as well. In addition to these 2 options, instead of you posting your own requirements, what you can do is have your requirements in mind and then just browse the many posts that are on the several websites. Have a look, check to see whether they're in the right location, see whether they've got the requirements that you're looking for. One thing to be mindful though about if you're doing this, something that I recognised, for some reason, some people who advertise their properties in these Facebook groups, they don't include the price. For me, I'd rather see the price so it's transparent. I can see exactly how much it is, and I know that the price that's being offered to me is the standard price that's being offered to everyone. But it is a good alternative. You definitely can find a lot of properties that you're interested in by doing this, and if so, you can just give them a call. There's usually a number there where you can call someone on WhatsApp. A lot of people do tend to offer monthly rentals as well in Danang, but of course, like always, there's usually some kind of discount available, so if you're planning to rent more long term, one of the good things with Vietnam at the moment, for all nationalities, you can actually apply for an e-visa for 90 days, which allows you to stay in Vietnam for roughly 3 months. So if you're planning to stay for 3 months, don't be afraid to say, is there any discount if I sign a longer contract of 3 months? And of course, if you're looking to sign a 12-month contract, typically you can expect to pay maybe 10% or so, a little bit less if you're signing a more long-term contract. As an alternative to Facebook, what you can do is you can use one of the agencies. One of the agencies that I found, I didn't have any personal experience with them, but I definitely like the look of their website, is Danang Landlord. They had a huge selection of properties available that catered to all budgets, and they were in all locations throughout Danang. So with Danang Landlord, this agent doesn't charge any finder's fees. I did send them a message, asked whether there's any fees for them finding the property, and they confirmed no, that there isn't. So what you can do is browse through the available properties. All of the properties are numbered, so they've actually got a specific number. So you can then contact the agency, tell them the number of the property that you're interested in, and if it's still available, as always, you can make a viewing and go around and view those properties. The fifth option is probably an option that you're already familiar with, and it's Airbnb. If you're already in Danang, rather than making the booking directly through Airbnb, what you can do is pop around to the hotel or the apartment and tell them that you've been looking at the property on Airbnb. If you book directly, will there be a little bit of a discount? I actually did this recently, and I've made a booking for later this year to go back and stay in this Airbnb property, but I've booked it directly through the apartment, and I've received roughly about just under a 10% discount, because obviously I'm not paying the Airbnb service fee and cleaning fee. So that can definitely save you a little bit of money. Of course, it is convenient to book directly through Airbnb. The good thing that I love about Airbnb is the fact that I can read the reviews of previous people who've stayed there. For me, I find that extremely helpful. So it's definitely a good option, but I do think Airbnbs do tend to be just a little bit more expensive than the rentals that you can find if you go around looking by yourself, or if you find one on one of the Facebook groups. Make sure you give yourself plenty time in the beginning to search. Be patient and be prepared to get out on foot to do some viewings. If you do have your own transport, of course that's going to make the search much easier. You need to put in a bit of effort in the beginning, and I can guarantee that extra effort, it will pay off, because there's lots of little gems in Danang waiting just for you.